just heard from you because I mean I've been around here, what, 4 administrations?
Me too.
We've been around for a long time, and I know that previous administrations, to have fear, yeah, there was a lot of fear because they were kind of a stronger kind of administration. So I like to balance it out. Where is it coming from? So I mean, as a community member, I'm not here every day, but as a community member, I hear what parents are saying and what students are saying. But I would like to understand that we need to come to a better level of understanding each other in order to keep the school up, because we fought for this school 6 years ago when they mentioned at the board that they were going to put it as a charter school. And I said, no way, we can't do that. You know why? Because I knew the people that were here. I knew the staff that was here. I knew we had good staff. And I said, that shouldn't even be in the mouth of anybody. Steinman is Steinman, and it continues to be a public school. So, I mean, in order for me to go out there and fight and continue fighting for everybody that's here, I don't care. Because what I care is that at the end of the day, that our kids are getting the right education that they should be getting. And if it's an equal education, I'll fight and say, why are you going to send them over there when you can send them here? I mean, I have had parents turn around and bring the kids over here because of that, because they trust us. And that's, I think, the key word, the trust. We need to trust each other. We need to work with each other in order for us to make good leaders and good students out of these kids.
I think anyone would agree with that. And I just worry when I say culture of fear, it's not like, players who fears their coach, because they're going to yell, or that boss or something like that. I think the trust that you would like to establish, unfortunately, I think there's a large number of the faculty who feel like that ship has perhaps sailed on the basis of some events that have happened. And so I can't be any more specific than that, but hopefully I'm doing my best to resolve that going forward.
Can I speak to it?
Thank you.
Go ahead, Dr. Arden. So remember, the thing is that it's a fraction of the staff. It's not the whole staff, right? Because when you look at like the relationships, the community circles, the work that's happening, it's a fraction of something that started prior to the administration that fed into this administration, understanding whatever is, I'm not saying anything that's not public. Prior to the administration, the thing is that it's easy to say certain things when you're not made privy to all of the behind the scenes of situations, right? I get to see everything, the behind the scenes. I get the reports, I get the calls, I get the things that, and so people may say, why I'm never going to say why or this or that because this is privy to HR matters, but understanding that there's always two sides to a story. And I know that a lot of times that people will impose a narrative into a story when a person can't speak to it because of HR matters or whatnot. But please keep in mind that when it says like fear, like think about it. Who's lost their job because of reach? No one. I mean, you could look that up. No one's lost their job in this building because of reach, even when I was an AP. To my understanding, I don't know. Everyone that's left either was some did leave for promotion, some left because they were very clear about how they felt teaching a certain population of students. So of course, I wish you well, right? But they don't hear those conversations. They impose a narrative that's not necessarily true. And so you want people that are going to be here because they care about the kids and they care about working with EL students. They care about working with a specific population of students or in an urban setting. So understand when they say culture of fear, there's no fear. They're being teachers are held accountable. Yes. There was prior to me, there was no principal directed time for 2 years where there was no PD because those agendas were FOIA, and of course there was nothing to produce. There was no principal directed PD. There was no professional learning plan in place. Units I'm not even going to go into that. And so I had to establish a lot of those things that are inherent to school. Like in order for a school to improve, and our test scores, you can see our test scores, they were atrocious. And so how do you fix test scores, right? Curriculum and instruction, professional learning. And so when I hear things like that professional learning doesn't apply to me, how does it not apply to you? It's about standards, and it's about cognitive demand and productive struggle and rigor that should be evident at some point, at some juncture in the professional learning. It's about social emotional learning. Everything that we present is aligned to joy, equity, and rigor. And so there's nothing that we don't do here that isn't already directly aligned, because I could produce the documents, I could produce the storylines, everything goes through the ILT. So there's 13 all the department chairs sit there. So if they feel a certain kind of way, it was a consensus between the CIWP and the ILT, the professional learning plan that we have. And then there's times that I do give back, like on report card pickup, they get 2 periods back of principal directed time. For progress reports, they get 1 period back. In addition to, and they get all their safe schools time back. So they're getting the time back. And everything that we do is aligned to our CIW curriculum and instruction, inclusive and supportive learning, connectedness, and well-being. Now, teachers are going to feel a certain kind of way when they're not doing their unit maps after a certain time. Yeah, especially when I allocate principal directed time and a bucket of X amount of dollars for it to happen, and they're still not being done. And I know a lot of people will say 80 pages, not 80 pages. Some units are like 10 pages, some are 20. It's about the progression of learning and whatever you decide to put into it and speak to it and that student experience. Some people are more comprehensive with their unit plans because they like to plan in that manner. Some don't and like that manner, and it's reflective in the instruction, right? And so that accountability piece, that's not going to go away. That's just the right instructional core. Everyone here attends PD. Everyone here is given time. Everyone here is given the professional capacity to support what the vision of CPS is, which joy,